foodie, so I'm going to attempt my first mukbang. It's not going to be anything like super duper exciting recipe. I just wanted to try to make one, so I chose something kind of simple. It's something that I've been craving. I'm going to make a vegan Fritos pie. Oh, it sounds so good right now. So like I said, it's not much of a recipe. I'm going to show me putting it together, obviously, and then we'll have a little chat. Alright, so here's the stuff. Okay, so pretty much everything's from Trader Joe's except for the cheese and the sour cream. So we've got Trader Joe's brand, the organic corn chip dippers, so Fritos. And traditionally when you make this, you get like the little bags of Fritos and you cut it open and you put everything inside of it, but I'm going to assemble this like in a bowl. And the chili that I'm going to use is the Trader Joe's organic vegetarian chili, which is vegan. They got a new supplier, so it's back in stock. You may have noticed if you guys are looking for this that it's been out of stock at your locations. The flavor, my husband said, is a little bit different, but it's still pretty good. And then you've got like all the toppings. So I'm gonna put on some diced tomato. We're gonna put on some green onion. Sauteed onion sounds good too, but that's just more work. I've tried this tofu sour cream once and it was okay. I don't know if it was what I put it on or if it was the sour cream itself, but by itself this isn't the best tasting stuff, but mixed in I'm hoping it'll be alright. So I'm going to put this on part of it. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Daiya mozzarella style shreds because this is the bag that I have open. I also have the cheddar one, which I would prefer, but like I said, this is open. And I'll actually have to like microwave this on it a little bit because this is frozen. Alright, so first, I think I'm going to get the chili started. So it's up to you how you want to do your chili. You can either put it in a microwave if you're into microwaves, or you can just heat it up stovetop style. I'm going to heat up the whole can, but I'm probably only going to use about half of it. Gotta get one of my little spoons. This is one of my favorites, a little mini rubber spatula. And for the chili, feel free to make your own homemade chili. That's going to be healthier than this one. You know, like a lentil chili, or if you guys watch High Carb Hannah or Life Inside a Box, they make a red lentil chili all the time. Well, Derek does anyways. Alright, so I'm going to get this going. I'm just going to heat it up till it's nice and warm. And let's get the other stuff kind of chopped up. My little cutting board is dirty right now, so I'm just going to use a plastic plate. For your tomato, again, I'm only going to use about half this tomato. Make sure you guys can actually see. Maybe up just a skosh. Okay. Keep an eye on your chili. Don't let it burn. Don't let your spoon melt either. Alright, so for the tomato, we're going to cut the core out. You just kind of go in at an angle and go around in a circle. Pop it out.
Pop it out.
If you guys have a compost heap, throw that little bit into a compost heap. If you make your own stock, you can always put that in your freezer bag for your stock. I'm going to dice this up. Whenever I'm going to, almost always actually, whenever I use tomatoes, I pretty much seed them. Because I don't want my, whatever the tomato's going on to be all gushy. So I'll take the little seeds out. You could cut this in half and seed it before you start chopping it, which probably would have been easier, but you know. So what I'll do is sometimes I can just take my finger and mush out the seeds, and I'll do this like over the trash can.
Just less moisture. Let me go ahead and do that to all of these.
Some tomatoes, if you use, because this is like a beefsteak tomato type of thing, if you were to use, say, like a Roma tomato, those kind of come out a little bit easier, I find, because you can actually just dig out like each half if you cut it in half. Just a little bit easier, whatever tomato you want to use. Alright. I don't have any special way to dice a tomato. I don't have any other tips except for seeding it. That's about it. Some people seed a tomato because they said it makes things bitter. I've never really experienced a bitter taste when I've actually left the seeds in. I just like to have less moisture content. That's the only reason I do it. I think they say if you like cook with it, and sometimes I'll cut out this little middle part too and then chop it up into bits. So whatever you want to do. I think whenever I've cooked with it, it's been like in like a fresh pasta type thing, not really like a cooked down. I don't think I've ever made my own homemade sauce from fresh tomatoes before, so I don't know if the seeds might come bitter then because you have to cook it for so long. That's a lot of tomato. It's gonna be good. Maybe it makes it bitter at that point, I'm not sure. And I'm sorry if you can't see my face while I'm talking to you. I don't really have a good setup or a good tripod for this mukbang and stuff yet. Maybe eventually I will, I don't know. But you can see my hands. Alright, we got some tomato chopped. My chili is starting to boil a little. Yeah, it's probably done. So we'll just go ahead and put that on low for right now. So another tip is use those kitchen shears. Alright, so the green onions, when I chop green onions, I don't chop them, I cut them. I'm just going to cut the tips off of those. And then I'm going to cut the ends off. Now you can save these ends for 3 different things. You can cut them pretty low and regrow them. You can save this, because this is the white part, so it's the more oniony part, save this to actually cook. Or you can compost it for things. Or you can put it in your freezer bag for your veggie stock. I'm just going to keep it to use to cook something another time. So if I would have actually sauteed onions, I would have put this in there. I'm not a big fan of this raw on something that's already got some spice into it. If it was something that was rather plain, then I would go ahead and put the fresh whites on there because it's going to taste more like a fresh onion. This is going to be a lot more mild. So this is how I cut my green onions or chives, scallions, whatever you want to call them. It's so much easier. I know if you have super sharp knives, it works, but I think with this I just have a lot more control and I can get exactly the sizes that I want. I love kitchen shears for chopping stuff like this. I also use it, and people think that it's kind of a pain, but I like it better because I don't have a pizza cutter. I actually use this to cut my pizzas. I'm not talking about those big mammoth thick crusted whatever pizzas. I'm talking about, you know, like a Daya cheese pizza or one of those Amy's cheeseless pizzas or whatever. Something like on the thinner side, thinner crust side. It works really easily. It's a little hot, but gets the job done. Okay, do we have anything else? No, I think we can actually just start kind of like assembling it. So I'm going to use my new favorite bowl that I got at Target. This is actually a serving bowl, so it's perfect. Get those Frito thingies open. There's no right or wrong. Put as much or as little as you like. I like to do kind of like a thinner layer, and sometimes I'll actually do a couple of layers, but I can always make more later if I want to. But this should be good for now. Then we're gonna dollop on some chili. Maybe I can stand you up just a little bit more. There we go. Now again, do this however you want. I just like things fairly evenly spread out. So yeah, I do the same thing when I make nachos. I try to get it as even as possible. I don't want any naked chips. I might actually end up using this whole can of chili. I was wrong. It's not as mammoth as I thought. Well, we'll see. I don't want to just leave like a little bit left over, you know. But I might also bring this to work tomorrow too, and I can kind of assemble it for lunch. We'll see. I don't know if chili's the best thing to eat at work though, right? That's actually pretty good. A little bit more there. There we go. There's a little bit left. Enough left for like a little snack or something, right? And then, what do I want to do next? Next, I want to put the cheese on. So I'm actually going to pop this in the microwave off camera for just a few seconds. And it's Daya, so it does not need a lot. That's good for me. And the reason I'm going to microwave this to melt this is because one, it is frozen, and two, Daya unfrozen is disgusting. So, or uncooked or unmelted is disgusting. So I just need it to melt just a little bit. Sorry, I had to stop there for a second and check a text message from my mom. She made this really yummy dinner. Red quinoa, broccoli, mushrooms, and something else. I don't know. She sent me a picture. It looked really, really good. All right, let me go get those Fritos out of the microwave. That should be good. Just melted enough. Okay, I'm going to, start putting some toppings on here. Do whatever you like. This is just what I like. It's what actually sounded good. I've never actually made this for myself like this before. Ever since going vegan, I prefer fresher stuff now. So we're gonna put all those maters on there. Yum yum. The tomatoes, besides just tasting good, they're gonna help like cool things off a little bit. So that's what's nice about having like something that's a little bit spicy with some cooling stuff. Some like fresh stuff. Feel free to spice this up any way you like to. And some green onions for color. Alright, I'm going to take a picture of this before I start dolloping any of that sour cream on it because I don't want to ruin it. I actually might just take the sour cream in with me to the living room and try it like on one piece and see if I even like it. I think that's a fantastic idea. So there it is. I've got to feed the kitty and figure out how I'm going to set up and talk and eat in front of you because my husband and I do not have a dining room table. We actually sit in our chairs every night and that's where we eat. So I'm going to figure out how to set that up. I'll be back in a minute.